So, hi, Jessica. Thanks for agreeing to chat to me today. So, we're going to kick things off with what did you do prior to becoming a celebrant or training to become a celebrant?
So hi, thank you for having me. Before I became a celebrant, I have come from a background in fashion. I've always worked for myself. I've always been self-employed, from university. So I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, actually, on a farm. My dad had racehorses, and my mum started her first children's wear business, making waterproof clothing for children because she was sick of washing our dirty clothes on the farm. So came up with the idea in a chicken coop, and the business took off massively in the early 90s. And I ended up being roped in as the child model from about the age of 5. So I suppose I've worked from about the age of 5 in the modeling world, and I have done up to date, really. And then from school, I went on to university and studied fashion marketing, where in the last year of my course, I set up my first business in menswear, making made-to-measure shirts and suits for men because my now husband, boyfriend at the time, was a professional rugby player, and he really struggled to get shirts to fit properly. So did all of his friends and teammates. So I found a bit of a gap in the market there, and yeah, started my first fashion business. So I've come from a very fashion creative background.
Amazing. So, why did you choose then to become a celebrant? How did that come about?
I suppose throughout my career, I got to a point, obviously, COVID hit. After about 11 years, I lost my business purely because no one was getting married or ordering suits or shirts because they were all working from home. And I had my two daughters who are now 7 and 10. And I just kind of felt like I wanted to enjoy being a mum, have that opportunity. And now they're a bit older. Um, Last year, I thought, right, now's the time to, get myself back into what I'm doing. And I really want to do something I've always done something very like meaningful and very personalized because of my previous business. It was made to measure. So all my clients it was the service I provided was very personalized. Each shirt was 14 measurements, and all the intricate detail and embroidery. We could put in special messages in the collars. So I've always worked on that, I suppose, deep level with all my clients. Um, so I knew what I kind of wanted to do, but I wasn't sure what it was. I turned 40 last year as well. So I suppose that was a bit of a milestone in itself. And I felt there was almost like a bit of a gap in the industry within the funeral market and funeral services. So that was the initial pull, and I was actually looking at funeral directors, and then I came across celebrants, and I thought, oh, hang on a minute, if I could do that, that actually kind of ticks all my boxes. And then I can go into other industries like the wedding market, which going back again to my modeling career, I used to do a lot of modeling at wedding fairs, bridal shows. So I've got kind of contacts within that industry anyway. And then the namings. And I just thought, oh my God, it's so meaningful and personal. There was just a lot of connections personally to myself. And throughout my life from a young age, I suppose through my own experiences in love and loss as well, um, it really is like helped me with that because I feel like through my own personal experiences, I can then support and help others as well. I don't feel like I would have been ready for it before now in terms of an age thing. I think almost having those life experiences and having lived and kind of learned a lot becoming a parent and a mum, getting married myself, all of those things I can embody now and really take and really channel into doing this so meaningfully and so personally. Um, and it's just so exciting.
So, why did you choose to train with the AMC then? Tell me a little bit about that experience and that journey. What made you to choose us?
Yes. So first of all, I suppose I started doing some research online on socials. And to be honest, AMC popped up straight away. There was other academies and training academies that I looked at, but they just didn't have that, I suppose, presence of what AMC has in terms of the initial attraction of your branding itself. A lot of them are quite old-fashioned looking. And I just kind of feel what I can bring and who I am as a person and as a celebrant is more modern. And you guys definitely have that feel. And having then investigated more into that and looked into that, all of the mentors and people that were involved, I just felt more of a connection to personally. Um, you looked very attractive, you looked very professional. All the information was there. It was very clear because there is quite a lot to take on, and it can be quite an overwhelming experience, I suppose, as well. Kind of thinking, where do I start? How do I go? Where do I look? And I just thought it was really, really clear and really welcoming, the feeling. And I just had that vibe. I suppose it's when you meet your clients as a celebrant. I kind of felt like I had that connection with the AMC as that kind of affiliation and alignment myself with AMC.
That's so lovely. So, how did the AMC support your learning and growth then whilst you were training?
So the AMC supported my learning and growth through the amazing network and academy presence through socials, the Facebook page. There's already a lot of established celebrants there that you can connect with. And I just felt really comfortable being able to voice anything on Facebook, on the page that was there for us to chat about, even before I started the course itself. I started with the funeral course, just because that was the initial attraction, I suppose, of the industry I was going to go in. And I just felt like AMC really held my hand through it. And I felt really held and safe as well, because it is an industry where you want to feel comfortable and you want to feel held with the support and the network around you. And I really felt like that through the setup you have on socials, as well as the connections with Facebook, that I was able to do that.
That's so lovely to hear. So, what advice would you give to someone starting on their celebrant training journey?
The advice I would give someone starting on their celebrant journey would be to do your research, go with your heart, and you almost just know that instant connection of who you are as a person. I think is really important, embodying that in your style as a celebrant, being completely honest and open, and having those connections with other celebrants and the AMC and the support around you, because being a celebrant can be, we're self-employed, we work on our own. But I think it's so important to have that support and network around you, and that is what the AMC gives you. Um, you're always there, no matter what time of day or night, because we can be working quite late at night doing scripts. I often do. I feel like my creative side comes alive on an evening when the kids are in bed and I can sit down in the peace and the quiet and get to work till 2 in the morning sometimes. But I love that, and my creativity is flowing. But yeah, if I have a question or I'm not sure of something, I can just pop on to the AMC Facebook page, even just voice that. I wouldn't expect anyone to get back to me at 2 in the morning, but I know that next morning someone will have, or there'll be quite a few people. They'll give their opinions and advice and help, and it's always been really positive and a really safe environment, where I genuinely feel like I can ask anything and someone will get back to me really quickly and with some really great advice and knowledge and answers.
So, what did you find most either inspirational or exciting about one of your courses so far?
Oh, so I suppose every time I completed something on the course, I was just really excited to move on to the next part of it. The layout of the course and the way it's done is so easy and simple to use. I'm not great with technical things and computers or anything else. And it is very, very friendly and really easy to use and navigate around. The all the tools and all the extra, I suppose, information that you have in the vault within the courses itself is so useful. And I found that really, really, really helpful for those guidelines. It's given me such great kind of foundations. And I suppose going forward, the confidence as a new celebrant to have all of that information at my fingertips straight away and just very easy to access.
Brilliant. So, is there anybody on the team that you'd like to give a shout out to and why?
I suppose to both of my mentors who Christine, who was my funeral celebrant mentor, and Miranda, who was my naming course mentor. I haven't yet got my wedding mentor because I'm still in the middle of my wedding course. But to both of my mentors, just for their, it's invaluable knowledge and their honest feedback and their honest opinions and advice, not only on the course, but within the industry itself. I mean, having that is you know, you can't pay for that. They have just been so genuine and so real about it all. And that is what I just really appreciate and have really enjoyed. So to both of my mentors, I'd like to give a shout out and to yourself as well for all of the workshops you're doing through the Celebrant Guild, through the Hive, and on socials as well. Thank you for that because I feel really supported setting up my own business. If I've ever put anything up on my socials, which I have done, I've tagged you guys in it, and you've been really good at sharing that and supporting that as well. So, you know, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. It's that kind of relationship we've got. And that has just been what I have absolutely loved about the Academy as well. You know, you're really encouraging, really supportive, and really genuinely want us to be successful and do well. And I really feel like that. So thank you.
Well, thank you for your kind words. It's lovely. So, tell me now then, where are you on your celebrant journey right now?
Yes, so I have had quite a year. So I finished my funeral course last year, and I kind of got out straight away to some funeral directors, which has been interesting because I've learned so much from doing that. I went to certain areas and certain funeral directors. I kind of maybe felt, oh, I'm not quite a match for them, or that wouldn't really be for me, which I think is really important to know when you're a celebrant, your style and your market and where you're heading and your target, and kind of really zone in and focus on that because I felt I don't want to say wasted time doing that. I've learned a lot from doing it. And I kind of know where I want to go with it. So I did that, went out and set up my socials, which was on Instagram, just purely because that channel I feel I connect more with and I'm on more. I've already got a bit of a network established on there too from my previous businesses that I want to, you know, be able to, I suppose, use as a bit of a foundation and a connection point with that network already established. So I set up my socials, which I suppose on the course you never really know. And I suppose that was one thing I wasn't really sure of at what stage to do that, whether to do the course, then do it, or kind of do it in the middle of the course. And it's been good doing it in the middle of the course because I suppose you can start slowly and just build it. And you're very good at the AMC at holding our hand and supporting that too, and making suggestions of how to do it. So I felt that was really good. And then my friend wanted me to do her son's naming ceremony in December. So I got that booking just when I started doing the naming ceremony course as well. So that kind of spurred me on to get through the course because I thought, right, I've got a booking. The more I get through the course, the more access I'll have to the vault and to all the paperwork and everything too, to kind of be able to do this as my first real one. So that was great to have that. So I did that, and that naming ceremony was in December. while I was still reaching out to funeral directors and just setting up meetings to just go and have a chat and say, look, I'm here. I'm really new, very open, very honest about, where I've come from, who I'm training with, which I felt the feedback they gave me was great that I'd had training because I think some celebrants don't have the training, but yet having the training and the modern training, I felt it kind of pricked their ears a bit and they were like, oh, that's great, and asking questions about it as well. So that's been really good. I kind of felt, oh, I'm not getting any bookings I'm not sure like where to go with this. I think because I hadn't had one booking, almost the funeral directors were waiting for me to have done one or got one under my belt. So I think it's been quite challenging getting that initial first booking, um, because it is a huge responsibility. They don't know you. They don't know what you're like, your reputation until you've actually done it. You can say, you know, you're professional, you've got the knowledge, you've got the training, you've got everything behind you, which I did have. It's just getting that chance. It's almost luck as well as being in the right place at the right time and having a connection with someone where they're like, yes, this person can do it and giving you that break. And I luckily had that at the beginning of March. I I attended a funeral, which was one of my best friend's dad's funeral. She was going to actually ask me to do the ceremony, but she felt I'd known him since I was little too. She felt it was a bit too personal for my first one, and she wanted me there as her best friend on the day, which was absolutely fine. But I was able to kind of chat to her to see what she wanted within the funeral, and be able to offer her some advice and knowledge with it, which she found really useful from all the training I'd been doing on the course. Um, so I went to this funeral having the week before popped into the funeral director who was doing it, but I didn't mention anything to him that I was a celebrant, that I was coming to a funeral he was doing. It was my friend that had mentioned it to him. And when I was there, because I'd met him the week before, I spoke to him and said hello and everything. He said, I'm definitely going to get in touch. We had a really good, I suppose, instant connection as well. And a couple of weeks later, I got a phone call on a Friday for a booking, which was just amazing. Cloud nine. I just thought, this is it. This is great. Like, I can do this. A bit like, God, it's actually happening, kind of moment. But yeah, so I had about 3 weeks to put a funeral together, which was just amazing. And I loved every second of it. It was just, and I felt like I had the knowledge and the confidence from the AMC with all of my training to be able to then do that.
How amazing. And like you say, it's about building that rapport and that connection and just keeping that rapport going. You can't just go in and introduce yourself. You have to go back and keep that connection. And obviously that chat conversation, that once in an opportunity where he got to talk to you was enough to him to give you that opportunity and to give you that chance.
Exactly. Exactly. And just having that communication with him and learning through the AMC on kind of how to handle emails, how to reply back. That is really important as well in that network with, the funeral directors and the venues and suppliers themselves. And you learn all of that through the course too, which is just invaluable because it's your reputation at the end of the day, and word of mouth is going to get you those bookings, and their connections, they'll knock on and tell other people. And that's how I want to grow organically as a celebrant and as a business, because to me that is everything. And then after my funeral, also last year when I did my photo shoot for my branding quite early on because I knew what I wanted straight away. I think just from coming from a very creative fashion background, I knew my styling, I knew what I wanted to do, and the importance of having really good imagery and branding. I can't kind of, for me, is, invaluable. And you learn that as well through the course. And I've kind of tapped into my network, my previous network of that, to be able to to do a photo shoot through photographers that I already know and have connections with, a venue. So I was able to do that and set that up, and get some really good images that are obviously professional and look great for my branding. Um, because people they buy, that instant split second, they want to see your brand and you and have that connection with it. So I did my photo shoot at this gorgeous wedding. Well, it's a hotel. They do weddings there as well. And when I did my photo shoot, they allowed me to use the facilities. And the wedding coordinator walked in to our photo shoot on the day and she gave me a booking straight away. She said, I've already got you a booking. I've got an American couple flying in next April and they're looking for a celebrant. I haven't got one. Would you like to do it? So I was just like, right place, right time. And I've just done that wedding on Saturday gone, and it was incredible. It was for an American couple. So all of our meetings were over Zoom and Skype, which was fine. So I met them in the flesh the morning of their wedding ceremony day, and it was amazing, just absolutely incredible. So my bookings have almost come from my like network through who and just getting myself kind of out there and building those genuine real relationships with people and not hiding behind anything, just truly being myself and being open and honest. I'm a new celebrant, which has been, I suppose, a bit challenging with that initial booking for a funeral director because it would be, that is normal. But I think if you are open and honest about it, but you can show them you've done the training, you're in this, it's serious, you're giving it your all, you will find that person who will give you the break if you want it really badly. I believe, yeah.
How exciting. So that's a naming a wedding and a funeral under your belt already, and you've not even finished yet. That's brilliant.
Yeah, no, it is. It's great. It's good.
So how has your life changed then since you took on this celebrancy practice?
So I just feel this is me. I feel like I have found where I have always meant to have been and to have come in being a celebrant. Everything I've worked for and kind of been and channeled my whole life through school, through work, through being a creative, but yet my own personal life experiences in love and loss, all those connections have brought me here and I can help and support others, which is what I really want to do as a celebrant. Work with people and give them ceremonies which are just so meaningful, so personal to them and their own stories, because I feel that is so important and who I am as a celebrant to be able to deliver that for people. And I suppose any ceremonies I've been to in the past, which haven't been celebrant-led ceremonies, I've always thought, oh God, I'd love to have done that more personally, or I'd love to do that myself. Like I've always kind of had that in me. And I actually had a celebrant for my own wedding 14 years ago, not realizing at the time, obviously I'd become a celebrant. So I feel like I've just had these connections which have brought me here, and it's just me. It's just completely me as a person and who I am and what I want to do. And I just feel pure happiness and peace with being here, and just so lucky and genuinely privileged to be able to do it.
Almost a full circle moment, really, isn't it? From 14 years ago to here you are now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
tell me a little bit then about how anybody can find you. So what is your socials or your website information?
Yes, so I am www.celebrantjessica.co.uk for my website. And on socials, I'm on Instagram as celebrant_Jessica, and on Facebook as well, Celebrant Jessica. That is my name and that is my branding.
Amazing. So one last question then. If you could set yourself one goal for this year, what would it be?
Oh, that's a hard one. So one goal for this year would be to get wedding bookings and, well, I suppose funeral bookings would come in quicker, but to get wedding bookings this year, this is what I want to get my wedding course finished and get wedding bookings in for next year now and really just start the ball rolling. And I suppose launch as a business, I feel like I still probably haven't launched. My website is still not live yet. I am working on that at the moment, but I'm taking my time doing it because I want to do it right and I want to get the imagery right and the branding right. So the wedding I've just done at the weekend, I've made connections and relationship with the photographer from that and asked the couple's permission if I can use their photographs and their reviews on my web. So I'm kind of building it all. And then I'm going to kind of launch once I've got all of that in place and I've finished my AMC course because I'm thinking if I don't get that finished, I'll be getting the bookings in and I won't have time to do it. And I want to do it and get it all done as well.
You will, and you'll absolutely smash it. You're doing all the right things in all the right places, and it's really starting to pay off. So it's been lovely to chat to you, Jessica. Thank you for giving up your time with me today.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed it. And thank you again for all of your invaluable support, your knowledge, your help, your advice. It really, truly has been a pleasure and a joy. And just, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it all.